I've talked about The Office many times throughout my time with this YouTube channel, and as hard as it is to believe, the show ended over 10 years ago. But with talk of a spin-off type of revival being just on the horizon, something I'm sure I'll end up talking about when the series finally drops, I thought it might be fun to take a look at where the main cast for the series ended up after The Office. Steve Carell. Let's be honest, deep down we all wished we too had a boss like Michael Scott. You know, the lovable yet somewhat misguided kind of leader. Steve Carell's role as Michael was the best casting fit. He had us rolling with fits of laughter with his antics and awkwardly timed jokes. It's no secret that Steve Carell's film career started taking off when he was still a main player in The Office, with the 40-Year-Old Virgin coming out between seasons 1 and 2 of the series. From there, his career really never slowed, but what did change were the roles he chose and the talents he decided to put forward. His post-The Office career has been a masterclass in versatility. He began to take on serious dramatic roles, which earned him remarkable success, starting with his role in the captivating film Foxcatcher as John DuPont. The film is based on a true story, and it helped Carell showcase his talent and ability to portray complex and intense characters. The film released the year after The Office finale and 3 years after Carell himself departed from the series. Carell's Foxcatcher performance was widely praised, and he was actually nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. But Carell's talents didn't stop there. He continued to take on comedic roles with his role as Mark in The Big Short, where he portrayed a financial expert navigating the 2008 financial crisis. His sharp wit and acting added a thrilling yet comedic essence to the film, again earning him praise from viewers and critics alike. And he made quite the notable return to television with the drama series The Morning Show, which navigates the world of morning news. Carell did an amazing job captivating viewers with his portrayal of Mitch Kessler, a disgraced news anchor. The role showcased his range and ability to tackle such nuanced characters with the same skill that made us fall for him in the first place. From intense roles to sharp comedies, Carell has continued to prove that he's a force to be reckoned with in the industry. Rainn Wilson. Every time Dwight Schrute came onto our screens, he left us crying with laughter with his quirky personality and comedic flair. Schrute was played by none other than the legendary Rainn Wilson. He gave this character tons of personality and, along the way, became a fan favorite. Looking back, no one could have pulled off this character as iconically as him. Since the end of the series, Wilson has channeled his talents for various other projects, bringing his blend of comedy and depth to our screens. Since The Office, his career has been just as diverse as Dwight's interests. Wilson starred in the comedy series Backstrom as the main lead. Everett Backstrom, an ill-tempered and somewhat rude detective who captains the serious crimes unit dealing with the most sensitive criminal cases, which honestly sounds like a series that Dwight himself would probably love. Not only that, but Rainn Wilson has been making some notable appearances as well, with roles in hit films such as The Meg, and even bringing his charm to the realm of sci-fi with a role in Star Trek Discovery. Outside of his acting gigs, it seems that Rainn Wilson has also been turning heads with his writing. Yeah, his talents go far beyond just acting. He's now the talented and proud author of The Bassoon King, a book where he brings his trademark humor and honest storytelling, sharing funny tidbits and insightful anecdotes about his life, giving readers a slight glimpse into who Rainn Wilson is beyond any role. In short, Rainn Wilson has shown that his talents go far beyond just Dwight's strange weirdness in Scranton. John Krasinski. Jim Halpert was played by the very charming and charismatic John Krasinski. He gave life to the sarcastic yet endearing salesman who was a series mainstay. His pranks on Dwight and his heartwarming love story with Pam made him one of the main reasons that the series ended up being as popular as it ended up being. But what happened when John Krasinski left behind Jim and the comforts of Dunder Mifflin? He went on to reach the stars with a huge Hollywood career. John Krasinski soared after The Office wrapped up. He evolved from the charming, witty Jim to a leading man in Hollywood who's making some major waves in the industry. First up, we've got his role in 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, which showed everyone how his acting went beyond just a comedic persona. This gritty, real-life tale of heroism put John in the spotlight and his versatility on display. He proved he had a knack for more than just humor and was praised for the level of emotional intensity he brought to his role. But that's not it. John took a big leap back into television with the role of Jack Ryan based on Tom Clancy's famous character. With this role, John squashed any rumors about his acting ability, showing everyone how seasoned an actor he truly was with his portrayal of the CIA analyst turned field agent. The series' thrilling storytelling and John's captivating performances made it an absolute hit, cementing his place as a leading man in Hollywood. And let's not forget his impressive entry into directing. John gained massive popularity as the director and star of the horror movie A Quiet Place, which showed his abilities both in front of and behind the camera. A Quiet Place going on to spawn a whole horror franchise. Not to mention the movie If that he wrote and directed, and definitely isn't Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, no way. John's journey from the lovable character Jim to a versatile actor shows his range and talent. His post-The Office career has been filled with blockbuster hits, showing everyone he's more than just a guy who would play pranks. Jenna Fischer. In many ways, Pam Beesly was the heart and soul of The Office, despite the fact that I would say surprising amount of people seem to dislike her character. But I like to think that she brought a very special kind of endearment to the show, which had a lot of people falling sort of in awe of her. On top of that, her loving and warm persona and on-screen chemistry with her co-stars only made her more adored. Jenna Fischer, the actor who made Pam such an icon, continued to make the most of her career even after leaving the Dunder Mifflin reception desk. One of the biggest, more recent projects she's been taking part in is her podcast Office Ladies, which she co-hosts with none other than Angela Kinsey. Yep, the same Angela you're thinking of, the actress who played Angela alongside Jenna for many years in The Office. The two talk about their time on the show and give viewers a unique behind-the-scenes glimpse. So if you ever wondered if the behind-the-scenes dealings were equally, if not more funny than the actual show, this podcast is a must-listen. Oh, and she's been rocking the world of acting and writing. Maybe not as much as her on-screen husband, but we're definitely seeing her grace our screens. In recent years, she starred in the ABC comedy Splitting Up Together, a show that dives into the hilarious and chaotic world of parenting and divorce, which I would say is a comedy that delivers laughs and some heartwarming moments you don't want to miss. Although the show didn't stick around for too long, getting canceled after just the second season, we're still kind of in mourning about it. Jenna's acting was nothing short of fantastic. Her role became yet another fan favorite, and it's understandable because she brought back that signature warmth and humor to our screens, the same one that made us fall for Pam. Additionally, in 2023, she took on the role of Katie's mom in the movie rendition of the musical rendition of the movie Mean Girls, which hit theaters in 2024. And to be completely honest, I don't have the drive to see it, but it's always nice to see a familiar face out there still getting work. Not only that, but Jenna's also been working hard as a writer, penning a memoir titled The Actor's Life: A Survival Guide. The book displays Jenna's candid storytelling and talent, giving readers an honest and insightful look into the hardships and triumphs of working in the entertainment industry, becoming something of a savior for aspiring actors. Ed Helms. We all remember the lovable but sometimes over-the-top Andy Bernard. We know each character was someone's favorite, but Andy, who was a bit of a later addition to the series, really got the audience to love him with his unique quirks and, of course, his forgettable a cappella performances. The man who gave the character such soul and depth is none other than Ed Helms. And ever since The Office wrapped up, Ed has been busy carving out a remarkable career, taking Hollywood by storm. Ed isn't one to shy away from showing his versatility, ranging from drama to comedy and everything in between. Ed reprised his role in the blockbuster comedy series The Hangover, where his character Stu Price became a household name. Many fans might remember this role a smidge bitterly, connecting what this role did to his character in the final season of The Office. Though he definitely still delivered the absurd and hilarious aspects of his character, a mild-mannered dentist with a bit of a wild side, with so much ease that he left no doubts about his artistic talent. The film, like its predecessors, was a complete success, and further catapulted him into the industry spotlight. Ed didn't stop there. He continued to make waves in the comedy world with some roles in comedies like We're the Millers and Vacation. In We're the Millers, he played a hapless drug dealer, while in Vacation, he steps into the role of Rusty Griswold, the grown-up version of the classic character from the National Lampoon series, a character who, fun fact, was played by Johnny Galecki, Leonard from The Big Bang Theory in Christmas Vacation. These roles showcase to audiences how Ed Helms could handle a variety of comedic characters with his signature flair. Helms followed this up with yet another impressive performance in the film Tag, which is kind of based on a true story. The film follows a group of lifelong friends who've been playing a game of tag that's been going on for years since their childhood. His passion for storytelling and connecting with audiences is like none other. Ed has been in a variety of films that have showcased his abilities to the industry, making him a well-known actor in the comedic realm of Hollywood. Ellie Kemper. In the series, we had Ellie Kemper portray the absolutely adorable Erin Hannon. Erin was the sweet and somewhat naive receptionist who brought a lot of heart to the office. Despite joining much later than every other character on the list, her innocent charm and bubbly personality made her adored by all. She had us rooting for her, especially in her relationship with Andy, at least until we weren't rooting for them anymore. So what has the person who brought us such a loved character been up to these days? Well, since the finale of the show, Ellie's been quite busy with some really impressive stuff. She went from her receptionist role to the lead role in the Netflix series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, a Netflix sitcom with arguably the most earworm of a theme song that has ever existed. Unbreakable. You know what? If you can think of a theme song that gets stuck in your head more than this, put it down in the comments. In this series, she plays the titular role of the ever-optimistic and endearing Kimmy, a woman who's on the journey of reclaiming her life after being rescued from a cult. She ventures through New York City with wide-eyed enthusiasm, and we see her comedic roots shine. Of course, she worked her magic like always, and the show was a complete success, having 4 whole seasons and a crazy Rotten Tomatoes score of 96%, and also an interactive film sequel. The role allowed her to showcase her ability to blend comedy with genuine emotional depth. Her exceptional acting earned her Best Actress in the 2015 Webby Awards, and in the 2 years following, she got 4 nominations for both the Primetime Emmy Awards and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Lead Actress and Outstanding Performance. And that's not all. It turns out that Ellie's talents don't stop at just on-screen acting. In 2016, Ellie lent her voice to the animated film The Secret Life of Pets, where she voiced Katie, the devoted owner of Max and Duke. And Ellie made sure her career wasn't confined to just acting. Like many of her Office co-stars, she too ventured into the world of writing and published her memoir, My Squirrel Days, which gives readers a glimpse of her experience and offers a humorous take on her life and career. The book allowed fans to connect with her at a deeper and more personal level, resulting in the book being received fairly well. These accolades cemented her name in the industry, making her a well-known figure among her peers and the public. Craig Robinson. We have Craig Robinson to thank for portraying the lovable Daryl Philbin, the warehouse manager with a knack for bringing Michael Scott back down to reality. The charming and charismatic actor brought his unique blend of humor and talent to the role, and continued to do so after his time with The Office ended. One of my favorite of his roles is that of the Pontiac Bandit, aka Doug Judy, in the ever-iconic Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He played the role perfectly, incorporating his comedic flair into the role and making him an immediate fan favorite. His role became so well loved by the audience that he became a recurring character in the series, which just highlights his ability to capture the audience. Craig also ventured into voice acting when he voiced Mr. Shark in the 2022 DreamWorks animated film, The Bad Guys. Craig has also been taking part in many acting projects, but one of his more recent roles is as Connolly in the 2024 film My Spy, The Eternal City. Along with acting, Craig also pursued stand-up comedy, and you'll never find an empty seat at his shows. His stand-up comedy performances are widely known for their energetic delivery and humor that'll have you on the floor in fits of laughter. Now, talking about his music side. He showcased his talent as a musician with his band The Nasty Delicious. The band blends R&B, funk, and soul, reflecting Craig's diverse talents and passion for music. Craig's versatility and charms have also been extended to the realm of hosting. He took on the role of game show host for the comedy game show The Masked Dancer. So from warehouse roles to stand-up comedy and music, Craig Robinson has continued to expand his horizons and showcased his incredible range. Mindy Kaling. We're sure you remember the gossip-loving, ever-energetic customer service rep Kelly Kapoor, who never failed to steal the spotlight whenever she entered a room. She was played by Mindy Kaling, who also served as a writer for the show and has continued to make quite the buzz in the industry since her time at Dunder Mifflin. Does the name The Mindy Project ring any bells? It's the hit comedy sitcom that follows the life of Mindy in New York, and it's filled to the brim with charisma, humor, and obviously sarcasm. Mindy Kaling played the titular character and continued to captivate viewers for 6 whole seasons with its witty writing and exciting characters. The show had a significant impact and further cemented Kaling's name as a major player in the industry. She went from a supporting comedic role in The Office to leading her own comedy show. But acting isn't her only talent. She further ventured into the realm of writing by penning several books, such as Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Why Not Me. This earned her accolades as a best-selling author. What hooked readers was her way of offering an insight and humorous look into her life and career. More recently, Mindy Kaling drew some pretty major criticisms for her rendition of the Scooby-Doo gang in the series Velma. And it almost feels weird to even say Scooby-Doo gang because, he's not even in it. It's been talked about enough online. You've probably seen just about every other channel under the sun ripping it apart. BJ Novak. Ryan Howard is maybe my personal favorite character from the series proper. At least when he's written well, he's an incredibly important foil for Michael and serves as an audience surrogate. The quick-witted and often scheming Ryan began as a temp and quickly climbed the corporate ladder, before losing it all and heading to Fort Lauderdale for a bit. Ryan was played by the multi-talented BJ Novak, who delivered an incredibly memorable performance. And as many of us know, Novak didn't only play a character in The Office, he was also a writer and an executive producer for the show. Now, Novak may not have gotten the corporate success Ryan had dreamed of, but he did find success throughout his career. In fact, his career trajectory after the series finale has been quite impressive and multifaceted. He diversified his portfolio by joining the world of authors. One of his standout achievements came with his debut book, One More Thing, Stories and Other Stories, in 2014. It was a book of 64 fictional stories and it was a phenomenal success, staying on the New York Times bestseller hardcore fiction list for 6 weeks. After that, more success followed. At the end of the same year, he signed a deal with the Penguin's children's book label and wrote The Book with No Pictures. This one became an even bigger success, spending an incredible 174 weeks on the New York Times bestseller picture book list, with 34 weeks at number 1. After the finale of the show, he continued to make a few small appearances here and there on the big screen, but one of his most exciting appearances was on the Mindy Project, a series we already talked about that was created by his Office co-star Mindy Kaling. There's a reason beyond acting that made his character on the Mindy Project so exciting. Novak has expressed publicly how he had a very close friendship with Kaling, who he met through writing for The Office. He went on to call her the most important person in his life, which had Office fans in a bit of a frenzy. In The Office, we saw an on and off again relationship between the two, and Ryan and Kelly's on-screen relationship was loosely based on how BJ and Mindy's actual relationship was at times. However, the two still seem to be the closest friends, with Novak even being the godfather to Kaling's 2 children. Phyllis Smith. Phyllis Smith, basically everyone loves her, and the character she played. The occasionally sassy but warm-hearted Phyllis Vance, an integral part of the show's ensemble. Without her, Dunder Mifflin just wouldn't be as charming and, at times, backhanded. Her post-The Office career has been one of success and contentment. One of her notable achievements came in the form of voiceover work. It was when she voiced the gloomy character of Sadness in the famous and critically acclaimed Pixar film Inside Out. The film earned major praise and was nominated for a plethora of awards. The sequel of the film, Inside Out 2, released this past year in 2024, where Phyllis reprised her role of Sadness. The film once again got high critical praise and proved to be a global success, now becoming the highest grossing animated film of all time, above such films as both Frozen films, the 2019 live-action Lion King, which is technically an animated film. I stand by this, fight me. Aside from animation, Phyllis has had on-screen roles other than The Office. While she has made appearances in multiple projects, some of her notable ones include the role of Lynn in the film Bad Teacher starring Cameron Diaz, and her role as Elizabeth Broderick Allen in the critically acclaimed series The OA, a dramatic science fiction series. Phyllis has also given fans quite the surprise when she reunited with The Office co-star and dear friend Leslie David Baker in a commercial for Honey Nut Cheerios. Her career after The Office continues to be filled with heartfelt performances and adoration by viewers. Leslie David Baker. Stanley Hudson, played by Leslie David Baker, has become something of a surprising fan favorite in the series. His general demeanor at work being boiled down to, "I don't want to be here and everyone knows it," made him an incredibly relatable character for many people who absolutely hated their jobs but knew that it needed to get done. Leslie David Baker sits in kind of a weird spot for this video, because I actually covered something he tried to do in a pretty solid amount of detail on the channel already, but we'll get to that shortly. Post The Office, Leslie David Baker continued acting in many minor roles and has had a pretty respectable career in Hollywood, including main roles in Honey Nut Cheerios commercials, some Key and Peele skits, and appearances in some films. He at one point tried to crowdfund a series that was definitely legally not an Office spinoff about the new and exciting character Uncle Stan. That was a whole ordeal I covered in way more details. You can go watch that video. Long story short, that ended up being refunded and supposedly is still on the way, but the last update I heard about that was over a year ago at this point, so who knows. As with a lot of his fellow castmates, Leslie David Baker has become a regular at many different Office-themed conventions, which is kind of how we can wrap this up with a lot of the other regular cast members. Generally, they've had consistent work in different roles, and have done an absolute ton of convention appearances. Brian Baumgartner released a chili cookbook, Paul Lieberstein continued to write and created Lucky Hank, a series that ran for one season, and Angela Kinsey also co-runs the Office Ladies podcast with Jenna Fischer. All this in combination with their continued careers in Hollywood. Again, it's kind of crazy to think about how long The Office has really been over at this point. It's been over for longer than it ran, but it's always nice seeing how the show had this huge impact on people and still continues to do so. And it's been really fun looking at everyone who's been a part of the show and seeing how they've continued to find work and make incredible things. But anyways, this has been 10K Bill, and thanks for watching. Comment down below what you'd like to hear me talk about next. Follow me on Twitter at 10KBill, and of course, make sure you subscribe for all your entertainment-related content.